Hi fragrance family, this is Tracy with the 3-Wick Thesis candle channel, and today I have for you an unboxing and lit review episode for Goose Creek's new collection. This is their like summer fruity, I don't know what they're calling it, collection that's got all the like grape soda, red, white, and blue. Finally happy to have some fruity summer candles in my collection. So I'm going to open this up, unbox it, we'll do cold impression, I'll cut the video, go out, do a first burn, and then come back and share with you my first burn impression and show you some video of the candles when they're lit. A lot of these are returning fragrances. Actually, let me just check real quick. I think most of them, I think there's just one in this particular series, and that's the Raspberry Sorbet is the new fragrance that I know for sure is in this collection. The other ones I believe are all returning. Yeah, all returning. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 returning and one new one, and Raspberry Sorbet is the only new one. And most of these are new to me. I have tried Grape Soda. I actually finished that one up in that was my April rotation. And then I have also tried red, white, and blue. I think I still have some of that left in a single wick. That was actually one of the first candles I bought from Goose Creek way, way back in October. And I like it okay. It's all right. Not my favorite, but it's also just kind of a classic, I feel like, summer fragrance. Let's see, what is this? Is this for their soaps? Yeah, hand soaps, foaming hand soaps. I haven't tried these yet. I don't know, maybe I should. I do like a lot of their fragrances. I feel like I just get so hung up on the excitement of Bath & Body Works soaps that I never even think to look at their soap collection. By the way, they also sell body mists and room sprays. They also have the room plugs, which I don't own in my home because I'm not responsible enough with liquid oil. I have spilled wallflowers and it was not good. It was not a good scene. And I think I have a couple of other items in here because I think I needed to add some stuff to get up to the shipping minimum. Let's see. Yeah, I definitely have more than... Oh, that's right. I ordered, I think, 2 additional candles plus a wax. I'm going to put that in a different haul video just so this can be focused on that collection. I'm just going to grab the first one out of here. Oh, I love this color purple, y'all. Look at how pretty that is. That is the Grape Soda. So you've got kind of this like striped wallpaper vibe. I'm thinking that's going to look pretty when it illuminates. Kind of just a classic label there with a little bit of like swirly cues, and it almost looks like an iron gate. I like it. It's a little bit simple, but that's okay sometimes. Gold lid. All of these have the same lid. All of them have the same design, but they're different colors. This one is Grape Soda, which has Concord grapes, fizzy soda, and sparkling sugar. Yeah, I really like Goose Creek's Grape Soda. I do think I like Kringle's just a tad bit better. This is, I think, delicious. It's candy-esque, it's juicy. It really does feel like a thick grape juice or grape syrup. I don't get enough of the effervescence of what I would expect from a grape soda, even though fizzy soda is on here. To be fair, I've only ever burned this one in the single wick, so it's possible, and I will let you know after the cut that it's different in the 3-wick. I love that they did colored wax in this collection. So this one is purple. It matches the label, makes me think of grape soda. And then the wicks on this one are the thinner, stiffer, ropey wicks. Yeah, that's really nice. I like that. Next is Watermelon Bubblegum. I'm excited about this one. I'm really curious to see how this compares to the watermelon, the fresh watermelon that just came out from Bath & Body Works. So this label is more of a green hue, not quite the color of watermelon rind, but pretty. I like that it's kind of a pastel green. This has scent notes of candied watermelon, sweet bubblegum, and powdered sugar. Wow. Yeah, that is so, it's so fun. This smells just like I'm thinking of those like quarter machines. Do they still have those? I don't feel like I ever see quarter gumball machines. When I was a kid, back in the 80s, they had the gumball machines. You took a quarter, you put it in, you turn the knob, and you got a gumball out. And those gumballs had kind of like a hard shell on them, but then once you bit into them, you got into like the heat of your mouth and the saliva, and it would turn into chewy bubble gum. And sometimes it was too much, especially as a kid. But this smells just like how it tastes, and you can smell it in your mouth when you first chomp into the bubble gum and you kind of break through that hard shell, and you get that moment of like smelling shell and bubble gum and like the powderiness of it that hasn't yet dissolved in your mouth. They captured that perfectly. It's like that exact moment of chewing a bubble gum. I get a hint of watermelon. It's not, I was kind of expecting like something really strong in terms of watermelon. This is mostly a bubblegum fragrance with a watermelon essence. I really like it. I'm excited about this one. I feel like we need to do like a drinking game where every time I say excited, you have to take a sip. Because I'm going to say it a lot this collection. So green wax on that one. These are the same wicks as the Grape Soda. Yeah, that one's divine. No complaints about that one whatsoever. I'm glad I picked this one next because I am curious as to how these compare. This is the Pink Bubblegum. So same label, same kind of stripes, but this one is in a pink hue. Again, very pastel. This has scent notes of pink bubblegum, confectioner's sugar, and sweet vanilla. Oh, wow. Oh, this is so delicious. Okay, I don't like, where was it that I was smelling? I think, didn't Bath and Body Works have a bubblegum one? I swear they had a bubblegum one. May have been in a single wick. And I smelled it at the outlet store and I was like, oh, no, this is not right. It did not smell right to me. I did not like it. It didn't smell like a bubblegum to me. It smelled like something artificial, like trying to be bubblegum. This actually smells like bubblegum. Oh, it's so pleasant. It just brings me back to being a kid. Actually, so far all three of these bring me back to being a kid. There's something so comforting about it. It smells a lot like the other one in that you get that same essence of like biting into a bubble gum. But this also reminds me a lot of like the Wrigley Chew. Did y'all have that as a kid? I know I got some 80s kids out there who watch. It would come in like, it came in like a foil bag that I think was supposed to resemble like chewing tobacco, and the idea was that you were a kid and you couldn't chew tobacco, but you would chew bubble gum that looked like tobacco, and it came in like strings. When you open that bag, that first whiff that hits you, if you got the regular bubblegum flavor, is exactly what this smells like. I smell this and the first thing I think of is I'm a kid about ready to shove some Wrigley gum in my mouth. The baseball kind, you know, the shredded. Amazing. I don't know how they did it. Y'all, I'm so happy. I'm so excited. And this is like, people ask me, people who outside the candle community who don't understand fragrance and the joy it can bring are like, why do you get so excited about candles? I'm like, you either you get it or you don't. And if you get it, you really get it. These make me so happy. Like, I don't even have to burn these. And the joy they have brought me is, I'll pay for it, right? It's worth it to me. These are so fun. Okay, this one is one I'm going to save for a different haul. It's not a part of the collection. This one is peach rings. I'm a little hesitant, y'all. That peach smell is not always my friend. This is kind of a pinkish orange hue, about what you would expect from a peach ring. Those peach rings are sometimes like almost tie-dyed, and they'll have like a deeper orange pink with a lighter hue. This kind of has that same vibe. Scent notes are juicy peach, gummy candy, and sour sugar sprinkle. It's a good peach. It is peachy. It does not read to like that tartness or sharpness that sometimes is urine-like. I don't get that at all from this. It's a very, very juicy, syrupy peach, like what you would expect from like a peach drink. And you get an essence of, oh, that's like the gumminess. How did they capture the smell of the gumminess? I don't know how do perfumers do this. It's amazing. I get the like memory is encoded of like biting a peach ring and like feeling the toothiness of it, of like biting into it and feeling your teeth go through the gummy, and that smell that it emits when you're hitting the glycerin that's in it. Yeah, it smells just like a peach ring. Phenomenal. Buttercream Sprinkles is next. I'm gonna burn this one all this month because of the hub's birthday. So this is perfect timing for something that is kind of festive and birthday related. The label on this one is yellow, very light yellow, kind of creamy. Scent notes are warm buttercream, vanilla sprinkles, and sugarcane. Ooh, that is yummy. I don't think this smells like sprinkles. I think this just smells like buttercream frosting. Sprinkles have this like artificial waxy component to them, and then you don't really get the vanilla flavor until you bite through that, and there's like this element of like oiliness and kind of waxy plasticky with the vanilla, and this just smells like buttercream. Yeah, it's warm, it's sweet. They've captured both the butter and the creaminess that you get with buttercream. Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Not what I would think of with sprinkles, but definitely buttercream. Ooh, this label. Oh, yo, I got a broken one. Interesting, because the box is not even remotely damaged. I think this probably happened before it ended up in the box. So you can see there is a crack right here. And I noticed because the label is all wonky and kind of wrinkly, but it's because this is broken. Let me see if I can even take the lid off of this without causing me trouble. Oh yeah, there we go. It's completely shattered. Yeah, you can see. And it's really badly cracked over here. So yeah, Goose Creek is usually really good about broken candles. This is the Raspberry Sorbet. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better broken candle. I'm really excited about this one, and I feel like this is a free candle because I take the wax out. I'm going to chop this up. This will be part of my warmers. I'm going to be enjoying this candle for a long time because I get to save this wax, and they usually are really great about sending you a replacement. If it's a clearance item or it's like the end of the season, sometimes they just give you a refund and make you reorder. But since this is new, they'll probably just send me a new one. And this is, I mean, it's really broken. It had to have been dropped before it was put in the box. There is no evidence that anything happened with this box through UPS. So I'm going to be very careful. Yeah, it's very difficult to smell. It's light. I've heard online that it's a good thrower, so I have hope. But on cold, I'm not getting a really strong scent. Yeah, I don't know, y'all. It's sweet. It's raspberry. I don't know that I get that icy element. And it's just hard for me to smell it because of the broken jar. Let me see if I can grab the scent notes without making a huger mess. Raspberry puree, chilled lemon, vanilla swirl, and creamy sorbet. Yeah. Well, goodbye, friend. I wish I could entertain you more. Pink wax on that one, pink label. I don't think I showed you the color of the wax on the vanilla sprinkles. That one is kind of a creamy yellow. Okay, last one is the red, white, and blue. I love the label color on this one. It's a pastel blue. Actually, it matches my ring. Very pretty. This has scent notes of red cherry, white citrus, blue raspberry, and crystallized sugar. Yeah, I feel like I get the cherry the most. It's very sweet. I definitely get the raspberry second. I barely get any brightness from the citrus. The crystallized sugar is very strong. Yeah, they're calling it crystallized. It does smell like sugar chunks as opposed to like a syrup. Yeah, it kind of smells, which I assume is what it's supposed to smell like. It reminds me of the like rocket icicles, the red, white, and blue icicles that you can get during, I think they're available year round, but people always get them during the 4th of July. And they have like cherry, blue raspberry, and that might be citrus in those. I'm not sure. This is a citrus in this candle. Yeah, it kind of smells like you melted one of those and put it in candle form. Yeah, that's pretty. Burned that one before, so I'm not going to be too surprised by this one. And I know that the cherry note in this doesn't go too medicinal, at least not with a single wick. So I think I'll be okay with the cherry note in there. It's very syrupy as opposed to, I don't know, fresh tart. All right, y'all. I cannot wait to fire these up. There's so much nostalgia with this collection. And I know if you were a kid in the 80s or really in any era and you had bubblegum and those like rocket firecracker icicles, popsicles, and you ate, you know, buttercream out of the jar as a kid, this is all going to hit on those same spots for you. I'll be right back after the cut and I'll be sure to share with you video of the candles and my first burn impression. All right, y'all, I am back and I have to say this entire collection is amazing. I did not think there was a single candle in this collection that was a dud or didn't have potential for repurchase. They're all amazing. These are mostly new to me. I think the only ones I've had before are Grape Soda and the red, white, and blue. And even then, the red, white, and blue is so much better in a 3-wick than it is in a single wick. So I am just happy I have this collection. So glad that I bought all of them. I'm not encouraging you to do the same, but I am encouraging you that if you're on the fence and kind of wondering, should I snag one of these? You absolutely should. I'm going to do things a little bit differently. Normally I go in the same order as the cold impression and then rank them. And I feel like it just makes more sense for me to just go in my rank order. So go from my least favorite to my most favorite on warm impression. I just feel like that feels more natural to me. So we'll try it. If y'all like that format better, let me know in the comments, or if you prefer the old format where I go in the same order as the cold impression, let me know that too. Just trying something new. And since I'm starting with the last, I want to preface this by saying this is a wonderful candle and I would still purchase it. It's just in a collection with amazing candles that are better. So if this were in, say, the Rain and Storm collection, which makes no sense given its scent notes, it would be number 1. Okay, so just to give you an idea. So let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there's 8 in this collection. Number 8, I chose Pink Bubblegum. Now, on cold, this is absolutely amazing. You literally smell pink bubblegum. That powdery, gummy note still comes through on warm, which is pleasant. I feel like the way this smells when it's hot, like the best thing I could think of was if you had that like Bubblicious chewing gum when you were a kid, and you would make a big bubble and it would burst and kind of stick to your face, and for a second you would feel like you might inhale the gum, that smell. That's how this smells on warm. It literally smells like warm chewing gum. There's something in here that read a little bit chemically to me, which is why it's last in the list. It would be higher up, but there's just like this tinge of something in the candle that doesn't read quite right. It almost ends up smelling like, the best thing I can compare it to is like a hot wax gun when it's warming up. It's not bad. It just smelled odd. Like it smelled like it didn't belong in a bubblegum fragrance. So I did put this last for that reason. This is a very strong candle. If you are sitting next to it, there is no denying that you're sitting next to a bubblegum candle. The throw, however, was a little bit low for me. Normally the way I gauge throw is when I enter into, it's actually this entryway back here. It goes downstairs into my garage space, which is converted into an office. So there's no windows, the door is sealed off, and it's a half flight. So it's not a full flight of stairs, it's just a half flight. And usually if I open the door and it hits me, I'm like, yeah, it throws well. This one didn't really hit me until I was at the bottom of the steps. So it's got throw, it's just not amazing throw. And I did let it come to a full wax pool. These usually burn for at least an hour or two to get to that full wax pool. So I would say this one could still come to life. Just as a reminder, sometimes candles take a couple of burns to bloom, but as of right now, I am designating this as a lower throw candle. Yeah, I can't believe how much this smells like bubblegum. Okay, then number 7. No big surprise to y'all who watch my channel regularly. This is the peach rings. Just not a peach fan. However, this smells just like peach rings. And in terms of peach candles, I like this one. So normally peach for me smells too like high pitched. It's a little bit urine-y. It has like this weird off-putting, like I naturally just smell it and feel repulsed. So it's not like it's something that I just don't like peach. I actually love eating peaches. It's just something about that high-pitched note that often throws me off and makes me uncomfortable. This one doesn't have that, and I think it's because it is a very sugary, gummy fragrance. It smells just like a peach ring, and I would compare this to exactly how peach rings taste if you like bite into them and kind of suck on them instead of chewing. That's how this smells. So it smells how that tastes. So you get that sweetness, you get the sugariness, you get just a hint of like a sour tart note that feels like candy or a very kind of like just ripe peach. It's gorgeous. I actually really do like it. It's a peach fragrance and I'm not a peach fan. So if you like peach and you like sugary peach, this one is a no-brainer. You need to pick it up. In terms of strength, it had good strength. I could smell it really well sitting next to it. I would say good throw. It didn't come up the doorway into the open concept area, but it was noticeable upon walking downstairs. So decent throw, good strength. Number 5, I ranked as Watermelon Bubblegum. Now this one, there's a green note that comes out in this when it's warm. I don't smell it on cold at all, but when it was lit, I almost got like a rind note. It's not like a vegetal green. It didn't smell like grass. It literally smelled like watermelon rind, which normally in a watermelon candle, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. But given that this is supposed to be watermelon bubblegum, it felt a little bit out of place. Like I wanted more candy element, less of that green note. However, with that said, this definitely smelled just like watermelon gum. It also had that powdery gum scent, the same as the Pink Bubblegum has. Again, don't know how they did that. And I think this just smells like a really juicy, candied watermelon. I don't think it goes the way of like a watermelon Jolly Rancher. It doesn't have that kind of like sour tart sugary note. It's really bubblegum and sugar. So you get that like, it's like a cornstarch powder or something that they put on bubblegum. You get that kind of powdery note with the watermelon that's juicy and sweet. So it's not quite the same as like a watermelon candy, but it's delicious. It also, in terms of strength and throw, was very strong sitting next to it. I want to say almost overpowering, but not quite. And it also had good throw. So it didn't come out the door, but it filled the space down there. And I'll add to, when I talk about filling the space in my laboratory, you have to remember there's no windows in there, there's no drafts, there's not an air conditioning system, I don't have any fans, so the scent is really going to concentrate and build. So adapt that to your own space. If you're, for example, sitting in an open concept with all your windows open or the air conditioner going, might not have the same effect. Although honestly, if you have an air conditioner going, it might help circulate it more and you might get better throw. So just things to consider. Your space is going to make a difference. The reason I test it in that space is because I don't feel like there's interference, but it's not necessarily real world, right? It's not going to necessarily translate one for one in your space. Number 4, I went with Grape Soda. I don't know, the more I think about it, the more I feel like maybe this needs to be behind the Watermelon Bubblegum, but it was a real toss-up. I do really like the Grape Soda. I do like it better, just like with the red, white, and blue in the 3-wick than I do in the single wick. I've only had those two in the single wick format. This is much better. I just feel like it's stronger. It felt more developed, deeper, more dynamic of a fragrance in the 3-wick. It's probably because it does a better job at throwing. I will say that this one, in terms of throw, wasn't that great. I found that the strength was also kind of medium at best, so it wasn't too overpowering. I could smell it if I was sitting next to it, but in terms of throw, it really kind of only radiated kind of towards the edge of the stairwell. Not as strong as I was expecting, and a little bit surprised because I feel like the single wick threw really well. So again, this might come to life second or third burn, or it's possible just that I got a dud, because I think I've heard it has good throw. Leave me a comment and let me know for those of you who have burned grape soda before. I'm pretty sure I read that it's usually a really good thrower. So this just smells like a really, really juicy grape. And what I compared it to, I don't know if Brock's still sells these, but it was like mixed hard candy, and it came in like, there was a cherry, a lime, a lemon, and I know there was a grape, and it came in like a clear plastic wrapper. I just remember for some reason, like my middle school, high school teachers loved those things, and we'd get them as treats in class. And I didn't like them, but like it was candy and I wanted to eat candy, so I ate it. And the only flavor I liked in that bag was the grape. And this smells just like how that grape candy tastes. It also hit on a little bit of that like Fruitopia juice from the 90s for me. So I don't get the effervescent note, I didn't get the fizz, but it felt like a sugary like soda beverage and or a grape hard candy. It just has that candy essence to it. So I did really like that one in the 3-wick format. We'll definitely buy the 3-wick format from now on. Third, I chose red, white, and blue. Y'all, I love this wax color. I love this label. It's almost enough for me to bump it up to number 2. It's so close. These last 3 were really hard to decide. But this is beautiful when it's burning. And this smells just like a blue raspberry blow pop. So you don't get the bubblegum essence in the middle, but the candy shell on the outside tastes just how this smells. I would also compare it to like a blue raspberry Jolly Rancher. I definitely get the sense that this is supposed to be like a firecracker popsicle, but for me it read more like a blue raspberry blow pop, which I like. I prefer that. I think this one has a cherry note in it. I honestly don't get cherry on this at all, which for me is good, but if you're looking for a cherry fragrance, you're not going to be as pleased. I see cherry, I see red, white, and blue. I even think I smell the rocket popsicle on cold, but on warm, this really just becomes a blue raspberry. And what I really want is this fragrance in the country candle jar so that I can see the wax color. I might actually cut this label off. That wax color is so beautiful. I might just take this label off so I can see it. In terms of throw and strength, however, which maybe I should have bumped this to 4th, is it's low on both. I didn't get a strong sense of the fragrance sitting next to it. It's definitely there and I can smell it and it's noticeable, but I wanted more. It smells so good that I was like, oh, give me more, I want more. And it did not throw well at all. So it took me until I was within 3 or 4 feet of the desk that it was sitting on for me to actually be able to have some sense of its fragrance. Again, could come to life. Right now, not that strong. Let me know in the comments if you have any input on what yours usually burns like. Number 2, I went with Buttercream Sprinkles. Now on cold, I don't get a sense of the sprinkle note. It just smells like a delicious buttercream frosting. It says vanilla sprinkles, so you might not expect it. But I feel like on warm, I actually got an element that smells like sprinkles. It was like the waxy sugar coating that's on sprinkles. I picked up on that note. And even my husband was like, oh wow, it actually does smell like sprinkles. I'm like, I know, right? Like how did they do that? So on warm, this did end up smelling like sprinkles. I would compare this to like a funfetti cake / frosting mix. You get this frosting, buttercream, rich cake note with what feels like a fun packet of sprinkles on warm. Absolutely delicious. Want to eat this. I wrote that it's creamy, sweet, and it feels well balanced. So there's like a perfect rhythm of heaviness from the buttercream, a light sugariness from the sprinkles, and there's just this like creamy element and a sugary element, and those things just dance so nicely together. Love this one. Love that I have it for this month. I am adding it to the May rotation for the hub's birthday, and I'm really, really going to enjoy that one. Strong fragrance, super strong. Like if you don't like gourmands, super sweet candles, you don't want this one because it has a lot of strength and it also had good throw. So pick that one up if you like cake frosting scents. Now, first place, which is sad because I don't have the jar. I had an empties jar from last month that I cleaned out. I made sure to wipe all the oil out. This was in my crock. Emptied the oil out, wiped it out with paper towel, washed it with Dawn dish soap to get any lingering fragrance oil out because I didn't want to mix candle notes because blueberry doesn't belong in a raspberry sorbet. Made sure, sniffed the jar. I'm like, yeah, I think it's clean. And then I just popped the wax from the broken candle into this vessel. So just a good note, if you keep an empty around and you get a broken one, transfer it. You just gotta be really careful with the broken glass. It took me about 10 minutes to get the wax out of the broken jar by just very slowly, like a surgeon, removing the broken glass, wearing very thick gardening gloves, and kind of just slowly wiggling the bottom of the jar off because the wick glue sticks to the jar and you kind of have to just massage it to get it out. It's felt dangerous, but you want to do it safely, so just go slow and it can be done. You can also pop it in the freezer, but that doesn't solve the problem of the wicks sticking to the bottom of the broken jar. I already reached out to Goose Creek. Haven't heard back from them yet, but that's normal. Usually takes a couple of days. Okay, this one, y'all. Number 1, Raspberry Sorbet. My gosh. I put yum, exclamation point. This is an amazing candle. To me, it smells like you melted an Otter Pop that was raspberry flavored, and that's what you're smelling. It has that really thick, syrupy note that a sorbet or like a freezer pop would have. You get this like chill, icy element from it, and I don't know that it's an actual like scent note that's in the candle, but I think it's the place our brain takes us to when we smell that thick, syrupy note. I immediately was like, oh, someone melted an Otter Pop and is now going to drink the juice with little chunks of ice in it. Which is kind of what sorbet is. It's just juice and ice. But this smells exactly how you would intend it to. It smells exactly like a frozen raspberry treat. It's sweet, it's tart, it's juicy, it's refreshing. The strength on this was very strong. I could smell it. For a raspberry candle, I could smell it really well while sitting next to it, which surprised me quite a bit. In terms of throw, I'd put it more in medium range. It kind of got to the stairwell, so it wasn't creeping up, it wasn't super strong. It didn't hit me when I first walked down into the room, but strong enough if you're going to have it in a bedroom or an office setting. Probably not going to work as best in an open concept. Although I have heard from other people online that the Raspberry Sorbet is a thrower. Mine hasn't bloomed yet, if that's the case, and for now I'm going to designate it as medium. All right, y'all, that is my list in order from my least favorite to my most favorite. However, these are all amazing fragrances. I would repurchase every single one of these. Even the peach rings one, if I'm looking for a good summer peach, that's going to be one of my go-tos just because it's so inoffensive to me. I will say that if you don't like fruit fragrances and you don't like sweet fragrances, this is not your collection. But if that is your jam like it is mine, then you are going to love every single one that's in this collection. Let me know if you have any questions about any of these or if you have any insights, because most of these, with the exception of the Raspberry Sorbet, are returning favorites. So if you have any insights you'd like to share, put those in the comments below. I love it when we share knowledge with each other, gain insights. It doesn't have to just be me having the conversation in this space, and I want you to contribute as you feel comfortable. If you appreciated this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up before you click on to your next YouTube video. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. That helps to grow my channel and support me in the long run. And you can always change your mind if you decide I'm not for you. But I hope I am. So I'll see you in my next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.